Good evening. This is Samuel, and in this video in the ENTJ series, I'll be tackling Leadership Part 2, People as Investments. Fundamentally, what I'm referring to is actually mentorship. It's something that I think ENTJs, we instinctually do this, but we don't always do it well, if that makes sense. So if you're an ENTJ listening to this, one, the rest of the video would help. But second, I highly recommend looking into reading more on the topic of mentoring people and good tactics and techniques for doing it. Other types will often describe ENTJs as treating people as projects. Effectively, what I believe we're doing is we're trying to, quote-unquote, help them grow and develop. Now, why would we do this? Well, one, it's fun. I'm not going to lie about that. I really, really enjoy giving someone a hand and seeing them grow and succeed in some fashion as a result of that. It's really enjoyable. But also, we may want to utilize this person in the future in some fashion, and if we can help them grow and develop, they'll be an even better asset to us at some point. So there is that angle as well. I think some people will become annoyed and agitated when an ENTJ will treat them as a quote-unquote project. In order to avoid that, dear ENTJ, I highly recommend overtly and directly telling them. Additionally, a discussion like this, in my mind, should have terms and expectations as well, and be intentional about all of this and communicate it overtly. The reason being is you may have a set of rules that you have when you do this with people that you may not even be consciously aware of. So after this video, take a little bit of time to think about that, maybe jot some of them down. I found that INTPs view many things as contractual arrangements. I think that this is a very beneficial interaction between the two. That being said, it needs to have overt communication, maybe even write it down, or keep it really, really simple so you don't forget, so that neither party forgets what exactly is supposed to be occurring there. So, if you're going to treat someone as an investment, what this basically comes down to is you're going to offer them either mentorship or resources, preferably both. So, if you have certain skill sets that you want to offer to coach someone in, for example, I've got some background with sales, and so I may offer to give some people that I know pointers in selling, either in a very professional sense or just in terms of selling yourself or selling your mission or your dream even. Hey, here, and overtly communicating to them that this is what's going on. So, doing a little bit of role play right here. Hey, person. I think you could really take this a little bit further, and I'd like to give you a hand. I'd like to extend, any advice or coaching on some areas that I'm familiar with. For example, I've got some background in sales. I think that might help you in this situation. And I maybe even have some connections. I'll see if I can make some introductions for you. Now, this gets into the investment part. Overtly telling them if you expect repayment, or this could simply be an extension of the idea of social currency. See my other video on that mental model. I'll have it tagged at the end of the video. Go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. I highly recommend it. Now, if you're going to go in the direction of social currency, do your creditworthiness check. Effectively, know if you give this person a hand, if you can expect some kind of repayment, even of this kind, in the future. Will they be an asset to you in the future if you do this for them, if you give them a hand? But nonetheless, for this example, hey, I'd like to give you a hand in this, make some introductions, provide some coaching. I might even, do you need this X piece of equipment? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the advice, and I'll get this piece of equipment for you, and, you'll probably help me out down the line in some fashion, or as you're going forward in this direction, as you're growing, just, turn it back to me. Just make some kind of illusion that they should do something in the future to help you out in some way. You don't need to set an exact repayment term. Maybe you do, but probably not. Just setting the expectations. This is an investment. I'm putting time into you. I'm putting money and resources into you. I'm extending my network in some fashion to you, and you need to be of use to me at some point in the future. Comprende. Make sure they understand. Good. Now you can move forward. So, you're directly telling them, hey, I'm going to mentor you. Hey, I want to help you out with this, and I want to help you grow. If they decline, respect it. If they openly state, hey, I don't know if I'll actually succeed at this. I'm not 100% on whether I want to go through with it or not. Or, I don't know if I'll ever be able to repay you. One, it's good that they're being honest and upfront with you, because all of that's true. Additionally, two, you may need to be willing to take on some risk in order to do this. And if they fail, that's part of the game. Don't hold it against them too much. If they tried and put effort in, and if they failed, it is what it is. Or if they found out, hey, that thing I wanted to do? It was god awful and I really don't want to do it. That being said, are they still willing to help you out in some way? Are they respectful and appreciative of the time and effort that you put in? If so, perhaps continue to invest in them at a later point in time and in a different form. It may pay off. So, have that in mind. For the kind of final part of this video, I want to tackle mentorship specifically and coaching. These are just my thoughts from what I've read and what I've practiced thus far. here's to me what it really boils down to is, number one, encouraging exploration and the willingness to fail. Especially given our school system, lots of people aren't willing to take a risk and fail, and mitigating that risk. So that's part of that mentorship, is encouraging people to fail, to try things, and to fail in an intelligent manner. Mitigating the risk of failure, assuming, okay, if this fails, what is the cost? Is it a recoverable cost? And also knowing when, hey, you know what, this is the moment. You've either got to go all in or walk away from the table. Walking people through these steps, I think, is the big picture part of that process. Beyond that, on a more specific and case-by-case basis, if you have some skill set built up, assisting them with it. If they're building a skill set, assisting them to practice it. So, for myself, background in sales, as I've talked about, part of mentoring someone to sell is letting them practice selling on you. There is also a place for constructive criticism. Of course, doing that well is more difficult than many people realize. What I found most useful is sandwiching constructive criticism. Hey, good effort on that. Or you point out something they did well. I think you can improve on this, though. And then going for another thing of, you did this pretty good, and then just kind of taper off at the end with, so work on this, and I think you'll be doing a lot better. I found that works for me. It may not work for you specifically. And it may not also work on the specific individual that you're trying to develop and mentor. Some people, you just have to tell them quite directly, hey, this needs work. Improve on this. And then once they do it, let them know they did well. Don't criticize individuals publicly that you're trying to lead and develop, especially if you're trying to mentor them. If you're going to do that, there's a certain amount of trust that you're trying to build up with this individual, or that you have already built up with them. So if you take some type of critique and you do it to them in public, in front of everyone, or in front of their peers, etc., clients, whatever, that's quite embarrassing. And if you do that, they won't trust you. They may not listen to you as they did previously. So keep that in mind. If you enjoy this content, please do like, subscribe, tap the bell to get updates. I'm looking to upload about twice weekly. Comment your thoughts on this down below. If you're someone who's engaged in investing in people and mentoring, what are some of your thoughts on this? What's a recommendation that you may have? Have you done this, and have you done it successfully? Or do you absolutely hate the idea of doing this with or / two people? And if you're an ENTJ particularly, what are your thoughts on overtly letting people know, hey, I want to help you grow. I want to develop you. I want to invest my time into you. And I expect some type of return on this. What are your thoughts? Do you think it might help? I hope it will. With that, I've got that link to Resupply down in the description below, as well as a link to WeBull, the online free brokerage. Using that link below, you are eligible to receive free stock up to $3,000 upon first depositing $100 into the brokerage. Take some control of your finances if you haven't already, or switch your stock over to this platform. They didn't freeze trading with GameStop to my knowledge, so that's a plus. I will, of course, be receiving free stock myself, and it would greatly, greatly help me out, and I would really appreciate it. With that, keep on keeping on.